Hey, happy day. Welcome. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. In this video, we're going to talk about research. And what I'm doing is I transition from the brick and mortar world of offline, I like to call them real businesses, which annoys my online friends, to the online world. The online world, the automated world of, I call it the World Wide Web yesterday with one of my coaching students. And he's like, we were talking about a website he's putting together. He's like, nobody on the planet is going to understand World Wide Web unless they're under 60. And I said, I resemble that remark, but I'm under 60 still. So it was funny, but I guess World Wide Web is not the proper terminology these days. He goes, they might understand internet, but not World Wide Web. I said, okay, whatever. I kind of like the vision that the World Wide Web creates, the picture in my mind that creates versus the internet. I think it's more visual to me, but I'm more of a visual person apparently, or I guess. So research, why and how do I want to talk about research today? Because I'm doing a lot of it. And it seems interesting and strange that after all of the years that I've been in business and I've been in different industries, that I would feel the need to be continually going back and researching and learning and diving into and figuring out things. But every once in a while, not every once in a while, it's kind of continuous these days, I need to go back and I need to say, am I on the right track? What results am I getting out of the things that I'm doing? And does it make sense? And yesterday, for example, I was finally getting to, actually it was late last night, revamping and looking at my LinkedIn profile, which is horrible, by the way. It's so bad. It made me cringe and I was so embarrassed because all the things I coach people on and how they approach things, I looked at my about section and I was like, I just deleted the whole thing. I'm like, I wanted to cry because I did it probably 4 or 5 years ago. And that's the last time I updated it. Yep, I admit social media is not my 100% thing. So it gets left by the wayside. So I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. It was all about me. It was I this, I that, I this, I that. And I wrote it back in the day when we kind of treated LinkedIn like it was a resume and like it was, which was still bad, but like it was sort of a job hunting spot where we would just share our information and then people would find us and then hire us back in that day. Now I've had a job for, since 2003. So it's been a long time that I needed any resume type word out on the street. So I needed to revamp that. So I started to research, what do I do before I do anything? I start to research and see what super successful people are doing, and I model that. So I looked at a couple of people's, I have to change my header graphic. I still don't have a header graphic on my LinkedIn profile. That's ridiculous. I've got the little stars. I haven't changed that. I've never had one. I never had a header graphic on there. I will admit it's only been in the last few months that I actually changed my Facebook header graphic. I didn't know I needed to do that, but that's what research does for you. It makes you aware of things that can impact your business in subtle or in great big ways, but it makes you aware of those things. So we need to be continually learning and growing and researching and figuring out what works for other people and then applying it, trying it, testing it, and see if it works for us. Because just because it works for other people, it isn't guaranteed to work for us. We're all different. We're all unique. We're all very special. You're special today, just like every other day. And we have to go ahead and tweak everything that we do and make it our own. We have to take everything that we learn and research and find and study and put our own unique spin on it. There's no way that we can model or copy anyone and do it as well as they do, because it's their thing. They've already taken it and made it their own. And what makes it work for us is us learning, growing, using it as a little bit of a springboard by modeling them. And then by adding who we are, our flair, our bathrobe perhaps, that's when things click and they work for us. I've been in a lot of different coaching programs with people, really powerful people. And I've watched as myself and what I've done with those coaching programs or not, and what other people involved in those coaching programs have done with them or not. And each one of us, even though we're all going through the same exact material, we're exposed to the same teaching, the same information, we all do something different with it based on our past experiences, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us. Our beliefs are the biggest indicator, our mindset and our thoughts and our feelings and how what we believe about ourselves is the biggest indicator of what we'll do and how we'll act and how we'll respond. I like to think I create absolutely phenomenal programs for people, but just like any other coach or teacher or guide, the results that people get aren't dependent on me and on that program. They're dependent on them. They're dependent on you and what you do with it. Just as I know what I do with any piece of information or any piece of research I find is 100% up to me. I will admit the vast majority of information and research that I gather, I don't do anything with because it's not applicable, or and I do something with it because it all goes into my computer brain, right? And my brain keeps it in there and stores it and then spits it out in the way that's right for me and in the way that makes sense for what I'm trying to create in the world, the difference that I'm trying to make. And so I encourage people to always be researching, always be looking for that piece of information that is going to be click and say, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing that already? Or, oh, that's what that means. That's how I can apply this. That's how I can use that to serve my customers better. That's how I can use it to make my relationship with my spouse better. That's how I can use it to help my child achieve X, Y, or Z. That's the cool thing about human beings. We take everything we learn, every experience, every book we read, everything we see, everything we hear, and we might not even know at the time that it's all working together on a subconscious level to create and move us toward what it is that we want. So I'm going to continue to research. And part of what stimulated me researching more is I've noticed that in the 90-day challenge, today is day 15, I have totally 100% abandoned my outline for the 90-day challenge and what I was going to do during it. And I'm totally changing and revamping what and how and when I'm doing things. So part of that meant going back to the drawing board, researching and saying, okay, and I'm kind of letting the challenge take me down my own journey and my own path. So to be honest, selfishly, I'm learning as much by doing the challenge as by leading the challenge for other people. And I think that's the power of creating and doing and being part of things that are like challenges and masterminds and groups of other people. I think that it allows us to morph and change what we're creating in the world and make it 1,000 times better than it ever would have been if I just followed my boring outline, right? Nerdy engineer, boring outline. Works for me, obviously came out of my brain and I brainstormed it out, but I'm finding that as the world gives me messages, as I get feedback, as I see what's working and what's not working, I need to be flexible and open-minded and change and roll with what really works for people. Because it's all about, am I helping you get what you want? Doesn't matter. I always will get what I want because that's my job in life. Looking at the fog, there's a bird flying around the deck. Sometimes they hit the window and scare me. I love watching birds. I think they're fascinating. So today, research. What is something that you need to know more about? What is one little thing you could do to improve what you're doing to move you toward what it is that you want? One day at a time, life is really, really easy. If we do one thing every day, it can be a little thing, it can be a big thing, but one thing every day to move us toward what we want, all of a sudden we have what we want and we're working on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And things are popping into our life faster than we had ever dreamt was even possible. So go out, make it an awesome day, do some research. If you have any research questions, I'm like the queen of research since high school. I'm one of those overachievers when it comes to doing research. So if you have any questions about that, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.